Hey, do any of you guys remember, like, at the beginning of the year when I posted a 45-minute long video explaining in detail exactly why NASA faked the fucking moon landing and that it's actually about the race to inhabit low Earth orbit and that a space station was it was always about and still is always about? Well, guess what? They're gonna fucking tell you that themselves now, that it's all about the space station. Fuck the funding for the moon landing. That's all just bullshit propaganda. They need a craft to keep a space station in orbit. I fucking told you so. Now go watch those goddamn videos and understand exactly what they're doing and why all of this nonsense.
Future of space. The final preparations for a crewed launch from our coast are underway as Boeing prepares to make history at the Cape. Now, we are less than 1 week away from the long-anticipated Boeing Starliner launch, where 2 astronauts will take flight to the International Space Station. As the time is ticking closer, NASA officials are beginning to talk about how they will fund space exploration in the future. News 6's James Sparvero has the latest on the budget proposal.
And I'm pleading to you all in the Appropriations Committee.
Pleading with Congress how to spend our money is the job of the NASA administrator. And this year on Capitol Hill, Bill Nelson is asking this committee on space for $25 billion, even as Washington cuts spending. As NASA faces its challenges working to return astronauts to the moon and later returning samples from Mars, some employees around the country are missing out on making history. They've been laid off.
We've lost, decades of experience. Really tragic to lose that kind of talent.
Exploring deep space is the biggest chunk of the budget request, but from what I watched today, it seemed like Nelson had the most urgency talking about the future of the International Space Station. NASA wants commercial space stations from companies like Axiom Space and Blue Origin to replace the ISS in the next 6 or 7 years. And before that's possible, they'll need a new spacecraft that can deorbit the ISS, bringing it back to Earth. You consider all of that, plus the uncertainty of America's relationship in space with Russia in the future, and Nelson says that could complicate things even more.
We don't know what the president of Russia is going to do, and we could be in an emergency situation that we have to get this structure that is as big as a football stadium down and down safely in 2031.
It's been a tough year working with the budget, and the last thing that we want to do is to cut down anyone, but we have to make sure that we're being responsibly and efficient for the country. But yes, Administrator, I'm with you 1,000%.
Another young congressman, Maxwell Frost from Orlando, asked Nelson about the Artemis delays. Nelson continued to say the Artemis 2 astronauts will fly around the moon next year, and then the moon landing of 2 astronauts on the SpaceX Starship is under contract for September of 2026. At NASA's Kennedy Space Center, I'm James Sparvero, Getting Results News 6.